It is a GOP primary game changer, possibly. Nikki Haley landing a big backer that could transform the contest. Americans for Prosperity, a political arm of the powerful Koch Network, is now backing Haley. That means that she'll get nationwide armies of activists and virtually unlimited funding. It comes as the Iowa caucuses get closer.
We are now in second place in Iowa, second place in New Hampshire, and second place in South Carolina. We just have one more fellow we got to catch up to.
So the question tonight, will this key support actually move the needle past frontrunner Donald Trump? Joining us right now is Brandon Brice, a conservative commentator and host of The Brice is Right. Thank you for being here with us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
So first, I want to get your opinion on what do you think this endorsement means for Nikki Haley?
You know, this is a major endorsement for a couple reasons. The first thing is if you're DeSantis, you're shaking in your boots because that endorsement, some would have said, should have went to Ron DeSantis, who was the only person behind Donald Trump, who's now in double digits. But what we're seeing is that Nikki Haley's candidacy is actually catching up, where now she's got Americans for Prosperity. And here's the thing, money likes other money. And so it could be the Koch brothers today. It could be more investment and donors tomorrow, where they're saying it's time America had a change. This would be another historic race that if she wins the presidency, she would be the first female to actually do that. And so I think right now, you know, her platform has been very common sense driven. She's taken on some of the issues around abortion and women's rights, where now women voters, the thing that challenged the Republican Party, women voters are saying, you know what, I kind of like this candidate. And I think right now you're going to see where now people who have real options, where now, you know, before it was Donald Trump, Ron DeSantis, and Chris Christie, where now today they're saying, you know what, maybe it's time for a change. Maybe it's time to elect what could be the first woman president. And so I think right now, if you're DeSantis, you're nervous because that endorsement probably should have went to you. Now, when we talk about real quick Trump, you know, that depends if Trump's indicted. And that depends if, you know, Trump's legal cases could or could not keep him out of the runnings. And so I think it's going to be very interesting to see. The next 3 months will determine the nomination for the Republican Party.
Yeah, a lot changing here. What do you think this says about Nikki? I mean, it's been obvious that she has been seemingly a favorite for a lot of people, very outspoken, a lot of people backing her. But for the longest, so many of those other candidates have not even been able to get close to Donald Trump. Does this say a lot about her possibility of now taking over the White House?
If Nikki Haley gains ground above DeSantis, she's a serious player in the race. But what does it say? I mean, you know, the thing about Nikki Haley is that it's what Nikki Haley is not saying that's making her attractive. She's not being looked at as being the combative candidate or the candidate that's taking something away. Rather, she's bringing something to the table, and that's a woman's voice and perspective. And I think those are the things where now donors, I mean, I can tell you over, you know, the fact that Jamie Dimon, who's over Chase Manhattan Bank, said he told Democrats, consider voting for Nikki Haley as an option. And I can tell you, I have many friends on the left that are saying, you know what, this woman's a breath of fresh air, and I kind of like her. So if you're Joe Biden, you're shaking in your boots because the fact that already we've got a president currently whose numbers are at an all-time low, and now to have an exciting candidate, which I can tell you when was the last time we had one of those, to have an exciting candidate now in the race changes the game.
Yeah, and we've actually seen her beating out the current president right now in certain polls as well. Obviously, this network of conservatives hoping that she can turn the page of the current political era and defeat Donald Trump. Do you see that happening?
You know, it's interesting. Politics is a strange game. I mean, on the one end, we're looking at the fact that, you know, we've got a year out really until the next election. A lot of things can happen. We've got to consider Trump's legal issues. That's another factor. We've also got to consider, you know, what comes out. You know, the funny thing about politics is, you know, politics can change in a matter of seconds. And so, you know, is there any new information that we're going to learning about this person? What we do know is that women are saying that they like her candidacy. She's been the safe candidate to invest in as far as if you're a donor. She's been a governor, check. She's been a secretary of the United Nations, check. She understands foreign policy. She's been dead on when it comes to some of the positions on our armed services in Ukraine. I mean, this woman is the total package. And so I think it's going to be very difficult where now women voters, those things that that group that was not necessarily in Trump's corner, now they've got a real option and they don't have to vote for Biden. And so I think this is an exciting time in American politics.
Yeah, this really is an exciting time. We're seeing a lot of things changing. There would have been a time where this probably would have shocked a lot of people, but we saw Hillary running. We also see Kamala Harris now in office, so it's kind of set the stage for Nikki to possibly take over. What do you see this doing as far as impact ahead of the caucus?
Well, it's interesting. I think she's exciting. I mean, she told you, she's in second in 3 different states. I think now the donors are saying, they want to put their resources behind Nikki. And then the other piece about it is, you still got, in some cases, Iowa, you got New Hampshire. I think America, not just the caucus, America is ready for a new change. And what I like about this is that, this is a big opportunity for the conservative movement in America to finally embrace a female's perspective. And I think it's time.
All right, Brandon Brice, conservative commentator and host of The Brice is Right. Brice, thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.